Welcome. So in today's video we want to take a closer look at what add-ons I run, my UI, my DPS add-ons and that kind of stuff. And I will also tell you why I run certain add-ons. Let's start with my UI, so this kind of things here. First off, like I'm using LUI Extended by Upolarity and Spell Builder. It says it's outdated, but it's still working, so just make sure to keep it updated as much as possible, either with the minion add-on, which you can manage all your add-ons. I will make sure to put a link into the description so you have access to that. Now there's a few things you need to know. I will put the saved variables of my LUI into the description of the video too, so you just could copy the file and put it into your saved variables, so you would have the same as I do. Just to show you a few important things, so there is LUI Extended and LUI Extended Unit Frames. So as you can see, I only have this health bar. I'm not using the standard one. So to get the standard one away, it's this one, you need to put the default player frame to disable. Because if you do nothing, when I do the reload UI, you will see it will basically pop back up. And this can be really confusing. So you see, you don't want that, so you go settings, add-ons, LUI Extended Unit Frames, and then you disable this one. The font I'm using is Universe 67. I didn't really change anything else beside that, except the custom unit frames. The font, it's Futura condensed. Again, if you just copy my saved variable file, it will automatically do all the stuff. And you can do a lot of things with the add-on. You can choose the color of your health bar, magicka, stamina, shield, all kind of things. There's so much stuff to play around with. It's really cool. It would take way too much time to explain everything, so either you just take my settings or you play around with it a little bit. Then we have more things like info panels. Do you want to show the info panel or not? It's really up to you. Another important thing is the damage meter. So on the top left corner is the LUI DPS meter. When you are in combat, just kill this mob, it pops up and you see like LUI damage meter was 1.7 seconds fight and damage I did. It's a really basic one. I have a more advanced one which I will show you in a second. Now the thingy here, I just like this one because it's really simple and you can post it really fast. Then to actually be able to pop this window up is you go to controls, scroll down, LUI Extended, display damage meter, so that's this one here when it pops up, and then post damage results is when I put it in here and you actually see it in the chat so everybody can see it. That's basically. So the thing is, why I will actually show you one more add-on which you could run if you like dot trackers. That's Srendar. So me personally, I don't really like dot tracking at all. I always prefer to find out the rotation where I don't have to check when my dots run out, because it's just easier and it makes you more aware of the surroundings, so you can actually look what happens around you and you don't have to watch your dot tracker and then die to stupid stuff. So if you want Srendar, like you see, I'm tracking those two dots now up here. It's really nice. Some people like it, some classes need it. Maybe you only need one dot tracker, maybe for me Endless Hail, and that's it. It's really up to you, but again, I don't really bother using this because I find a rotation where I don't have to worry about like when to reapply dots just better, but that's maybe just me. Render is a little bit weird to set up. If you go here, there is a ton of things. Like you can see here, you can kind of choose what you want to show: short buffs, long buffs, major buffs, all that kind of stuff. For me, I only put my ground target stuff now here is in display window 4. So that would be endless hail. And then there is also filters, so prominent buffs. For example, you can type the name of a buff. For me it was Flames of Oblivion. I've chosen to also slot it in display window 4. So you see it here, current prominent buffs, Flames of Oblivion. So it will also pop up where the endless hail pops up. You also can make it bigger and smaller. Best is you experiment around with it. It takes time to set up the stuff, but if you really like dot tracking, it's definitely worth it. Then there is a few other cool add-ons. So for example, there is Bug Eater. Kind of usually you get UI errors like in a big screen here. If you don't want that, use Bug Eater. The Bug Eater will show the UI error in your chat, and then you're good to go. So no more annoying like UI errors. Chat to clipboard is really helpful too. You see when somebody logs in here, I can click on the sign and then it pops up here. I can copy paste, I can put it in here. Really cool add-on. Now combat metrics at the end. Inventory grid view is just like this kind of add-on here. Item saver, you don't really need this. Then, because I'm raiding a lot, I'm using a raid timer. This just helps track the time of the trial run or Dragonstar or Maelstrom. Raid notifier is a really helpful add-on. It shows you when your buff food runs out, when you have to dodge certain mechanics and all that kind of stuff. If you're doing trials or Dragonstar Arena, this is really helpful. Recount. So recount is on the top right side. This is where my damage numbers come from. So I don't really like scrolling combat text because it just kind of clouds your vision on what's actually happening around you. When you see there is damage numbers directly on the mob, and then I have the stuff here. So when you actually want to see what hits how hard, I can just like check it here. It's just like a small recap because I always record and then I just can double check really easily. Now surrender, we talked about this. Then combat metrics. So this is a really detailed add-on for DPS meters. So on the top left corner, this window here, the second one, this is actually this here. So this is really detailed. Like you actually will see when you do damage, like to whom did you do damage, what skills you use, how much percentage of the overall damage hit they do, like how many crits, how many hits in total, how many of those critted, the average hit and the maximum hit. So this is really helpful, and here in this area you will see all your buffs that you have active if the fight is long enough. So for example, if I was in a trial fight, I would see the combat prayer uptime, the aggressive warhorn uptime and all that kind of stuff. And you also see the stats here, like I can change, like I didn't really buff anything, so it's the same. So it's like here is the average one and the maximum I ever reached. This can be really helpful. It's really advanced though. Okay, that's basically already it. Just one more thing. If you just want like the in-game damage numbers, let me actually check. you have to go to, wait, where is it? Here. Like, you go to interface and then combat text. So that's the numbers you see on the mobs. Outgoing damage, and you can turn on and off stuff. If you also want to see incoming damage, there's a lot of things you can choose from. So usually I just like those here and then I'm good to go. Anyway, I hope the video was a little bit helpful. I know there is a lot of add-ons, and just take your time to set up the add-on correctly. Especially if you want buff tracking, because it needs to be in the right position. When you start with Surrender, it will everywhere in the corners will be buffs and stuff like that, and you just need to disable everything. I will also put the saved variables from Surrender into the description of the video along with LUI Extended, but remember, I didn't really set up Surrender a lot, but I basically disabled everything except for Flames of Oblivion and the ground-based area, so you could re-enable those kind of things if you want to. So thanks for watching and have a nice day. Cheers.